Hey map magicians, so excited for this tutorial. Today, I'm breaking down 4 clever ways to use 2 maps to level up your animations and a step-by-step guide on how to pull it off like a pro. Let's get started. Ever wondered how to make your map animations look cinematic and unique? Here's a simple trick, using 2 maps with blending modes to create stunning styles. First, let's start with our base map. I'll draw my first one. Let's choose ES3 and select World Shaded Relief. Perfect. Now we've got some nice topography. Next, let's add a second map. I'll go with a Bing aerial view. Now here's the key part. Link both maps together. That way, any camera animation or movement will affect both maps at once. Once they're linked, it's time to stylize. Open your blending modes. This is where the magic happens. Try different options like overlay, multiply, hue, or soft light. You can also experiment with some effects, such as lumetri color, trident, hue, and saturation, to give your map a completely different mood. For this example, I'll keep it simple. I'll pick the overlay blending mode. And wow, look at that! Alright, let's compare before and after. Here's our map before blending, and now after. See the difference? The textures instantly come to life. Now, let's take it a step further and add some effects to make it even more cinematic. The first effect I'll try is lumetri color. Start by reducing the exposure. That way, the terrain reliefs stand out more. Then, under the Creative tab, you can browse different looks and moods. If you're comfortable with color curves, go ahead and experiment. They give you even finer control. Here's the before and after lumetri color. Subtle, but powerful. Now let's move on to another effect, tritone. This one instantly transforms your map's tone and gives it a professional color style. This is a color grading effect, which remaps the colors of your layer to 3 tones, highlights, midtones, and shadows. So experiment with many colors to find the best for your map. And here's the before and after tritone. Just amazing, right? The textures blend beautifully, the colors pop, and the map feels alive. You can even switch the order of your maps or start fresh with different map style. Remember, the sky's the limit. If you want to experiment with different map style, click on the burger menu, open the map settings, and choose a new map style. For example, I'll switch my first map to universal raster, and the second one to advanced, and make the ocean color a dark blue. You can also change the other colors to find the best style for your animation. Then set the blending mode to linear burn, and just look at this result. Absolutely stunning. Keep experimenting, mix styles, and share your favorite results in the comments. Ever seen that cool little map locator that shows exactly where you are in the world? You can create it by using 2 maps. I will show you how. Simple, but super effective. Let's start with our main map. This will be your focus area, where your story happens. Next, we'll create our second map. This one will act as the locator. Now, here's the most important part. Make sure the 2 maps are not linked together. That way, when you animate your main map, the locator map will stay perfectly still, just like a mini global reference window. Select your locator map layer and create a circular mask around it. You can do that with the ellipse tool. Just hold Shift to keep it perfectly round. This circle will be your mini window to the world. If you want to style it a bit more, create another circle as a stroke, and maybe add a drop shadow to make it pop above your main map. Now, let's say our project is about Toronto. I'll keep the city of Toronto on my main map, and on the locator map, I'll zoom out to show Ontario, Canada, or anywhere you like that fits your layout. Finally, I'll just add a stroke and adjust the placement a bit. And here we go, a clean, professional-looking locator map that instantly adds context and style to your animation. The third way you can use two maps is to switch between map styles in one smooth transition, like going from natural earth to universal raster, or from Bing aerial to light. I'll show you two easy ways to do it using opacity and masks. Start by creating two map layers. Make sure both maps are linked, so when you zoom or move, they stay perfectly aligned. Now I will use opacity fade to make a smooth transition. Select your top map layer and gradually reduce the opacity over 1 or 2 seconds using eased keyframes. As you lower it, the second map underneath begins to show through, creating a clean and smooth style transition. You can animate the opacity keyframes for a fade-in or fade-out effect to transition between maps. It's simple, but super effective. You can as well use the masking technique. Instead of fading, we'll reveal the second map using a mask combined with the turbulent displace effect. Start by applying a mask on your top map layer. Select the top map layer, and then select the rectangle shape. Double-click to make it the size of the composition, and then animate the mask expansion parameter. Now we need to add the turbulent displace effect. Move the time indicator forward, and set the keyframes with no change to the map. Make sure the amount is 0, then come back to the beginning of the animation and play with the settings to your heart's satisfaction. Set the keyframe and ease in and out. You can play with the keyframe velocity to make the animation swifter. With keyframes velocity, you can control the speed and acceleration of an animation between two keyframes to make the motion feel smooth, fast, or eased. Just remember, higher influence means more gradual motion, and lower influence means more linear motion. To get there, right-click on the keyframe and select the keyframe velocity. Keyframe velocity is better than the speed graph because it lets you set incoming and outgoing speeds and influence percentages precisely without manually adjusting curves in the speed graph. In addition, it is more beginner-friendly. Look at this transition. I love it. If you select all the keyframes and right-click, then choose Keyframe Assistance, then select Time Reverse Keyframes, you will have a reverse animation that looks even better. Sometimes, instead of doing a long zoom from the world map all the way into a city, it's cleaner and faster to simply cut between two maps. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to do that smoothly using two map scales, one wide, one detailed, and a zoom in transition to blend them together. Start by creating your first map, showing the large-scale view, for example, the entire country or continent. Then, create your second map, which will show a closer view, maybe a city or even a neighborhood. Make sure both maps are not linked. Next, align the two maps so that your target location is in the center. The first map view will be zoomed out, then the second map view in your second map will be zoomed in, and move the layer to where you want, and then use any transition that you think is best for your project. I will use zoom in. Alright, map magicians, hope this tutorial helps you cast some creative map magic of your own. Let me know in the comments what kind of map animation tutorial you'd like to see next. Your feedback shapes future videos.